This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that makes your financial statements come alive and turns data into impactful graphs that help you see what is going on with your business. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you. In the last podcast, I introduced the concept of death by 1,000 cuts, how the ancient Chinese tortured people. No one single cut killed them. However, it was the accumulation of 1,000 little cuts that eventually killed the person. I discussed running your business on cash and ignoring cash trends, which are little cuts that can put you out of business. In this episode, I give you another cut, not answering your telephone. Wait a minute. Before you click off this episode, make sure that you do always answer your phones. Here's what happened, and it is the latest in a string of non-answering telephones that I encounter. I was visiting one of my clients, and we were trying to figure out and determine what the average was for service calls in their particular area. So I always do this, and I generally do this when I'm starting to work with a new client that I haven't been to before. I want to get a sense of what the charges are that people, when they call and say, how much does it cost to come to your home, we can explain what the service call fees are. And so we did it, all right? So we took their 4 biggest competitors. Called the first one. No one answered. True story. I let it ring like 7 times. No one answered. Called the second one. They answered by saying, name of company, please hold. And they put me on hold. They did not even ask me whether I could hold or something along those lines. And I was on hold for over a minute with nobody coming back. I eventually hung up. Competitor number 3. Again, no answer. And by this time, the owner who is sitting by me is saying, oh, I can't believe it. All these people are missing the opportunity to generate revenue with a new customer or an existing customer. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Finally, on the 4th call, somebody answers the phone, and I actually got to talk to a person. And we had a conversation. She never asked me what my name was because I said, how much does it cost for you to send a guy out to my home? And she just answered the question. 99.9% of the time, if somebody is calling you on the phone and saying, how much does it cost to come out? Do not answer the question. It sounds like you have a problem. By the way, who am I speaking with? And then you can find that person's name. And it's, what problem are you having with your plumbing? Or what problem are you having with your air conditioning system or your heating system or your electrical system or, whatever. And get them talking, because then you'll be able to build trust and explain our service call is X. Anyway, so it was so frustrating. And we only called 4. I've done this in other areas of the country where we've called 15, 16, 17 different competitors in larger areas, and no answer is prevalent. Not asking whether they could send a tech out once out of about 25. Did somebody even ask whether they could send a tech out? So before you think that you do not have a problem with people answering your phone, go find out. Obviously, you can't do it because they know your cell phone number and you're there in the office all the time. Get a friend, get a neighbor to do it, get somebody who they don't know the phone number by from their cell phone, and see whether people answer your phone, number 1, which is step 1. Number 2, whether they put you on hold and leave you there. Number 3, hopefully answer the phone, and instead of answering the question, how much does it cost to send out a tech to my home, say, Mrs. Jones, it sounds like you're having a problem. First, who am I speaking with? And get the person's name so it's a human-to-human conversation. Now, there are many companies out there who can actually help you with phone answering and things like that. I've had many on this podcast over the years, so I don't want to single out any one of them. But if you listen to previous episodes, you can probably find out, who they are. And if you need help with training, they can help you with training. But this is a death by a little cut because everybody thinks they answer the phone. But had this been a real situation, there were 4 potential customers that you lost. Okay. And let's assume it's only 2 potential customers that you lost with people calling in on the phone. How much is an average service call? If the guys are not busy and you're not answering the phones, what's going on? They should be answering the phone. And the other thing is they have to understand why it's important to answer the phone. Do this also. If you ask your people who answers your CSRs, who answer your phones, say, who writes your paychecks? They're all going to look at you like you've got, 6 heads, and they're going to say, you do. Well, no, you don't. You sign their paychecks. The customers actually write your paychecks. If you don't have a customer writing your paycheck, i.e. giving you revenue, there are no paychecks. So please help them remember that answering the phone is really, really, really important because you don't want to lose a paycheck. And you can put it in terms that are that simple. So yes, not answering your phone is probably happening more often than you think, and not necessarily only when it's busy, is a death by 1,000 cuts. It's the next cut. And in the next session, and next podcast, I'll give you another one of the death by 1,000 cuts. So thank you for joining me. Choose one thing you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.